Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our live weekly business talk show, MarketWatch 360. And tonight, we are going to talk about marketing and we're going to talk about lending. So, today it's going to be interesting and we're going to cover a lot about business, about life in general. And we have someone who is more than who is more than uh, uh, experienced.
I'm not sure if anyone can hear me because the screen froze up, but I'm Nicole Donn with U.S. Financial Mortgage.
Is it good?
I can hear you again, Nancy.
Hi, Nicole, and I am so sorry. We are having some kind of like internet issue. So much going on today, but anyway, there's nothing more that I can feel to having you on this show and then to share your experience and share your insights to the community. So to start with, I'm actually excited to get to know more about your story and the stories behind the scene. So would you like to share with us who you are and how did you get started your business?
Okay, my name is Nicole Donn, and I'm the branch manager of U.S. Financial Mortgage Lending. U.S. Financial Mortgage Lending is what's called a net branch of a bigger company called Golden Empire Mortgage. And a net branch is kind of like a franchise. And it enables me to be a direct lender rather than a broker. So I can get better deals for customers and have more control in the transaction. I started in the business many, many years ago, and it was destiny. When I was in high school, I went to the Career Center, and there was a computer about the size, you see the file cabinet behind me? Very large. And it had less memory than this gadget right here. But anyhow, I filled out a questionnaire and it told me that I would be good at real estate or banking.
Wow.
And so, like I said, that's what it told me to do. And a number of years later, when I was already a loan officer, I looked at my horoscope on my birthday, you born today, and it said I would be good at banking or real estate. So it's what I love doing. It's
I mean to be.
Exactly. It was meant to be. I can say I have been doing this for a long, long time. I mean, at this point in time, as long as most of my customers have been alive, or as long as many of my customers have been alive. I started in 1983. And at that point in time, I was younger than any of my customers. And my biggest hurdle was getting people to take me seriously because I was just a kid. In those days, the licensing, we had the same license that real estate agents have. Now it's a different license. And I kind of thought about getting into real estate, but I like numbers. Numbers don't lie, people do. So I liked working with numbers and I liked helping people, and I can do it with working with numbers. And so what happened was I got a real estate license and I started interviewing, and I talked to a mortgage broker, and he taught me how to do mortgages.
Oh, nice. Wow, it sounds like a perfect story. Perfect story. But throughout the years, then I can still tell your passion, and from your smile and from your enthusiasm, right? So tell us, what was the secret?
Well, I don't know, but all I can tell you is that I don't use an alarm clock. I have not used an alarm clock for years. I have a mental alarm clock. So Monday through Friday, it's set for about 5 a.m., 5:30 at the latest. I get up and, I don't drink coffee. I get up and I have the energy to just get out there and, I have a big smile on my face as I drive to work. I tell myself how much I love my life and how lucky I am to be living in the Bay Area. And I go to work and I love helping people, and I I still love my job after all these years. It's different every day. There's never 2 days that are exactly the same.
Okay. So, how was your business before pandemic, and what did pandemic change your business?
Well, the main change during the current situation is that there's a lot more Zooming and a lot less in-person um, meetings. The first 3 months was pretty funny. We did not miss a day's worth of work. We were deemed essential workers, and we got to keep coming to work. However, we could not have any customers for the first 3 months come in. And most of the customers are tech savvy. We have a secure portal. They can upload things, they can fax, they can email. But we do have some customers that do not have technology at all. And you would not believe how many disinfected tax returns we had. We made people put their paperwork through the slot in our door, and then we would put hand sanitizer all over our hands, all over the tax returns, and then copy them and give them back their originals through the door. So that
Wow.
was pretty humorous for a while. We were doing a lot of things. I would say that before the pandemic, I would say probably 70 to 80% of my clients were online, and now it's more like 95%.
So before pandemic, you already have like 70-80% of your clients consulting you and talking about business with you online.
Well, via the telephone and online, as far as, we usually would talk on the phone initially, um, and at least sometime during the process. But what we weren't doing yet was we weren't Zooming. Zooming is something that I learned to do right when the pandemic started. And that's been a godsend. It's so much easier to, if you're not meeting with someone in person, a Zoom is the way to go because you can screen share. It's so much better than a phone call.
That's true. That's very true. So, basically, that pandemic did not become a shock to you, to your business.
Um, Initially I thought everything was going to just die on the vine. I could not believe people would still want to buy houses. And it turned out, because interest rates were very low and people were at home, and they ended up with a desire to either upgrade and buy a house if they were renting, or maybe sell their house and buy a better house if they owned, or in many cases, and honestly more cases, refinance the house, pull some money out to make home improvements, and have their house be a better house. So um, honestly, 2020 was one of our best years ever, and 2021 is even to date even more than that. So we have had a very prosperous time during the pandemic.
Wow, that's amazing! Congratulations.
Well,
So, would you like to share some of your insights in your expertise for those of for those of people who are, looking for buying a property or thinking about getting some kind of like financial like resources, and do you have any experience to share with the community?
Well, we've been doing a lot of first-time buyer down payment assistance programs. It tends to be a little bit further out as far as the people that we serve with those programs, just because of the price point. But there are some really good down payment assistance programs available. The thing is most of them go to what is called the low balance conforming limits, which this year is $548,250, and this is the loan amount. It is going to 6.25% in 2022, and we actually in the next month or so will be able to start locking loans in at that amount. And we are able to get people the whole down payment and about half of the closing costs covered with the way it works is, for most people, it goes on as a second mortgage, but it's at 0% interest with 0 payments, and it is fully forgivable with 36 on-time payments on your first mortgage. The second gets extinguished. You don't owe the money. And if you happen to be a education, healthcare, or a first responder, we can get it where it's a gift from day one. It's never a loan. And that's pretty big. I mean, an FHA loan, for example, is 3.5% down, and we can get up to 5% down payment assistance. And for people that don't need down payment assistance, we can get it about 1% lower than the market rate on the interest rate. So we've been doing quite a few of those this year. And then just in general, the regular loans, the interest rates are low. So there's a lot of interest in buying because people have been sitting around. I'm thinking that in the next few months, the market might shake itself out a little and become a more balanced market. The reason for that is that there has been a forbearance offered to people that have suffered financially from the pandemic, and that is ending this month. So these people are going to have to start making the payments. And if their income isn't back to the pre-pandemic levels, many of these people they'd be smart to sell. I mean, you're better off selling and walking away with a few $100,000 than losing the house and walking away with nothing. So
in other words, it could be a great opportunity for people who are thinking to get a property, or who are thinking to sell a property.
Yeah, I think actually it's a good time to sell a property. Everyone is thinking that the prices will probably relax a little. They may come down a little, nothing like what happened during the recession. But the intense demand compared to the supply is what's been driving prices up. Whenever you have more people that want to buy than want to sell, it increases the prices. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people say to me, well, Nicole, should I just wait? And the thing is that if you want to buy a house and have it for a few years and then sell it, perhaps you should wait, although we don't know. But most people right now, that's not the reason they want to buy. They're buying because they want a place to live. And if they say the house goes down $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000, but interest rates go up 1%, which is likely to happen, your monthly payment is going to be the same or more with it 1% higher. So it doesn't make sense really to wait to buy if it's something that you plan as a long-term investment, as some place that you want to live for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, from a selling standpoint, we don't know what the market's going to hold. So I think it's a good time to sell. and I encourage people to sell. My goal, what I would love to see, is a balanced market. I don't like sellers markets because I work with a lot of buyers. And, a buyer's market's okay, but it's funny because whenever there's been a buyer's market, not that many people are buying. And that's when people should buy. But, it's kind of a mob psychology where everyone does what everyone else is doing.
Interesting. So, did you make any marketing strategy change during pandemic?
Well, there's a few things that I'm doing, and I'm going to be getting more into it. I have a nice consultant who's helping me with Facebook named Nancy. And so I want to get more active in social media marketing. I really have not done much of that. The company also has provided us with something it's a Salesforce thing that it's like a email database marketing where we assign campaigns to different people. Like if someone has credit issues, there'll be different emails that help them with their credit issues. Or just, for past clients, just staying in touch with them. So sending people birthday cards, having things more automated. And then something else that I'm going to do, and it's not for marketing so much as giving back to my community, but I recommend, and I know you're going to ask me about recommendations to small businesses, but getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce. The local Chamber of Commerce is here to help small businesses in the local community thrive. And it's also to bring awareness to the residents of the local community of the businesses that are in their community and encouraging them to spend money locally within their community. And I am likely to be the next president of the local Chamber of Commerce. I've been sitting on the board for 8 or 10 years now. And the nominating committee, I don't officially know this, but I've been told that they're going to nominate me as their preferred candidate for the president next year.
Nice, very cool. So yeah, I'm excited. I look forward to see you becoming, the leader of the community, and then to hear more good news from you.
Well,
and then go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say what my goal will be is I want to go to all of the vacant storefronts in my local community and find out who the owners are and if they want to rent or sell their property, and then do a reach out to leasing agents and realtors, commercial realtors and people like that, and try to get these places filled, because it hurts a community to have vacant storefronts.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And wow. The pandemic, unfortunately, that has happened.
So that could be the smartest move that you can make, for this community, right?
I hope so.
So, question, it's going to be challenging. Did you make any, mistakes in the past, or in the past, couple years during pandemic that you wish that you could do it other ways?
Are you talking business mistakes or marketing mistakes?
Let's talk about marketing, since our show is MarketWatch 360. Let's focus on market first, and then we can go a little bit wider. Yeah.
Can I mention a company that I don't like?
Yeah, you can talk anything you want.
Yelp. I would say that the biggest mistake I made was giving any money to Yelp. And what happened was I had an assistant that Yelp contacted and offered, I forget what it was, let's say $300 or $400 in credit. And she agreed that we would run a little ad on Yelp, and that we would cancel when we hit the $300 level or 400, whatever it was, or close to that, if it wasn't working for us. To the best of my knowledge, we got no business from it, and I ended up with a bill for like $1,200. And
Wow.
I mean, if I could Yelp, they would get a 1-star. I was appalled by the business practices, and I got absolutely nothing for it. Now, some businesses, like restaurants, I think probably Yelp is good for, but for a lot of these, service industry businesses, I think it's a waste of money.
So you don't really trust this kind of like third-party platform for marketing?
Well, I don't know if I don't trust third-party platforms. I don't know that much about them, but I think that Yelp is a ripoff, at least in my experience of dealing with them. That was the biggest marketing mistake I think that I've made in the last few years, as far as a monetary waste of money, where it cost a bit of money and I got nothing from it.
Mm-hmm. I understand. So what did you do after that?
What did I do after that? The Yelp?
After using Yelp, and you were really disappointed, right? And how did you pivot? And what other strategies that you have been using?
Oh, well, I mean, basically 99% of my business comes from referral. And it's past clients, and most importantly, the real estate community. When I trace all the loans that I've done in my life, I would say that well over 90 some odd percent can be, if you go down to the root of the loan, it originally came from a realtor. So for example, if I do a loan for this person who was referred to me by their cousin, who was referred to me by their best friend, who was referred to me by their father, who was referred to me by his realtor. So if I trace it back, and I'm actually doing some third generation loans. I have a young man recently who I pre-approved. His mother bought a condo about 10 years ago, and I've done numerous loans for his grandparents. Grandma's passed away now, but so it's nice. I was happy when I got to the second generation loans, but now I'm doing third generation loans. So it's nice to see families grow and prosper.
It's such a pleasure. Yeah. And then the trust that has been building, so many years, and I believe that you definitely become a friend of the entire family.
Absolutely. Another thing that has been very helpful through the years for me is that I am bilingual. I speak Spanish not as well as I speak English, but about 50% as well enough to explain how loans work and ask all the pertinent questions in Spanish. And so that's been a big service to the Spanish-speaking community. I would say about 20% of my clients just speak Spanish to me.
Excellent. You just did an excellent commercial for yourself, because a lot of people in our community, and they're listening to you, and they are probably excited to talk to you, and now they know that you can speak their language, and it will be even better. So it's a great news. So for those of you who are looking for getting a loan, or who are looking for getting yourself educated in this field, and reach out to Nicole. Okay, and Nicole, what's the name of your company, of your business?
It's U.S. Financial Mortgage Lending, and I can be reached at, my phone number is 510-758-3035, and my email address is Donn, which is my last name, DONN, at gemcorp.com. And GemCorp is GEM, like the precious stone, and CORP, like corporation.
Great. And also, just so you know, after this live show, and we're actually having all your information and contact on the right side of the screen, so everybody can see your contact information and they can reach out.
Excellent. Yeah. Sometimes with a phone call, I get really, really busy. I always do my very best to return the call the same day. But for the quickest service, the emails pop up on my screen, so I can multitask pretty well and answer people as quickly as possible.
That's great. So another question is, what are the other things, or what are the smart, like, marketing strategies that people have been using that could really benefit business?
Well, there's something that a lot of people use and that I really haven't used yet, but it's been recommended that I use, and that is video. And posting much more frequently on social media. I mean, I had my Facebook set up, but was posting, every month or two. And now we are trying to post, a lot more often than that.
And doing a lot more often for the social media marketing, right?
Exactly. And you know what it is? It's to stay in touch with people, I think, is important, because I have clients that every year I send them a calendar at the end of the year. And this year we sent them something else as well as a calendar. See if there's one around here. Well, this isn't the exact one, but something like this.
Wow, very cool. It's great marketing.
Well, during the pandemic, and so
customized mask, right?
Exactly.
Very cool.
So we sent people some masks, and I think masks are going to be around a while, even if they're not mandated. That our culture, I can tell you for myself personally, if I have the sniffles, even if I think it's an allergy, I'm going to put a mask on. And if I have a client coming into the office, and I'm talking in 2 or 3 years when there's no more pandemic, but if someone comes in here and they're sniffling, I don't want to catch a cold. I don't think they want to catch a cold. So I think that if anyone's sniffling, I think masks will be a way of life. Like, they are in Hong Kong, for example. You see people riding public transportation, and we're probably going to keep doing that in this area, even after, we're not masked up to walk into places. Hopefully that'll end fairly soon.
And especially, if you're doing this kind of reaching out, and if you're giving people masks during pandemic, and it's like, you have your live marketing everywhere, right? So I think it's a brilliant marketing idea.
Yeah, in fact, the local insurance agent had a gathering, a little mixer. It was a client appreciation and community appreciation. So I went up there, and he's an Indian guy, and they had this Indian food being cooked out back. And the cook had one of my masks on, and he looks up, he goes, "Oh, hi, Nicole." I'm like, "Who is this guy?" Because first of all, I just saw the top part of his face. And then, we talked for a few minutes. I had done his loan like 8 or 10 years ago. And I ended up remembering, I said, "Oh yeah, you moved from Oregon." He goes, yeah. So I remembered who he was, luckily, but I knew that he knew me and he was wearing one of my masks. So
see, so it's very cool. It's a very cool idea. So besides, giving away masks, what other ways that you have been using to nurture your relationships with your existing clients?
I have dropped the ball a bit on that, other than the annual contact. And that's why I'm starting to do the email campaign of, sending them an email, and it's automated. They'll be sent something like once a week with household tips, or, maybe, and also annual mortgage reviews. That's one other thing that we do, is we offer people to at least look at their situation once a year. on the anniversary date approximately of when they bought.
Okay, so that's very cool, and I think like we talked before, consistency is very important. Whether you're doing email marketing campaign or you're doing social media marketing campaign, and consistency is the key. So just continue doing the great work, right? And whatever works for you, just continue doing that. Like a referral is a great resources to your business, right? So I think it's definitely effective, and for you to do more like email marketing, or to do more like gift giving away, and to your special clients.
Yeah, I think another thing is that the way that I run my business is I don't just think of, making a sale today. I think of more of harvesting, sowing the seeds and watering them and letting them grow. So I talk to people no matter what stage of the game they're in. I mean, people come to me sometimes with no credit, or even worse than that, really bad credit. And, I go over the credit, I give them advice, I tell them what they need to do. And very often, not only do they come back a year or two later with everything cleaned up and ready to go, but they also appreciate the time that I took. I speak respectfully and kindly to everybody. So, I've had people actually that never were able to pull it together, but they referred friends and relatives that were good borrowers. So I think that treating everyone with kindness and respect is a good thing. And, I love my business, but I'm not starving. I mean, if I have the ability to give time to you to help you out, you being anyone who's listening.
Wow, that's really really. I think that's that's the key for any business. You really have to have a heart of serving, and have a heart of helping people, not just the focusing on money and generating revenue. And that's actually, oh, thank you. That's actually, I would say that's your secret ingredient of your years experience and success in business. And I get it, and I hope that most of our audience today and got your wisdom and got this secret ingredient as well. So to the end of the show, one more question. What are you optimistic about the future? Like now we're kind of in the transitioning period, and I would not say it's complete post-pandemic. Actually, we're still going through it. But I know that as a business, as a business woman yourself, what are you optimistic about future?
Well, I am optimistic that people like me are still going to be needed, because a lot of the buzz in the industry is that everyone's going to just apply online, and it's all going to be online, and it's all going to be automated. And I would say that, yes, there are some people that can do that, but a lot of people need a lot more advice, and also won't qualify under normal circumstances. But if you can think outside of the box, they can qualify. I'll give you a very quick example. I had a lady come to me who needed a roof on her house, and she needed to borrow a total of maybe $40,000 to do some various improvements. And her brother is undocumented and lives in Pennsylvania. So his house is in her name, and the mortgage was in her name, and that mortgage made her not qualify. And it was only $60,000, but the taxes and insurance in Pennsylvania are very high. So what I did is I took a look at it and I said, aha, you can borrow $60,000 more, pay off the loan on your brother's house, sell the house to your brother, and be his bank. So now what happened is that she doesn't have this loan anymore. The brother, it's a win-win situation. The brother now owns his own home, And she's getting that, he has to pay his own taxes and insurance, but she actually, instead of paying extra because she has this roof now, she actually is making $200 a month more than she was making before after paying this, because she's collecting on her brother's loan for the next 15 years. So they both have 15-year loans. They're both really happy. And that's something that someone who could not have gone online and been approved.
So you really have to like go out there and speak to a specialist like you, right? And to get into details and to see what are the resources available to you. And it's like, again, and but at the end of the day, nothing can, even all the online things, the resources, nothing can compare to the in-person connection. And then your passion and your knowledge and the heart that you want to help people, right? The internet doesn't have a heart. The internet has a speed. The internet has resources. But the thing is, sometimes it can be overwhelming, right? And all the numbers, you know all the numbers, and you know how to calculate with those technical tools. But the thing is, you don't have much experience, right? And it's not just the doing the calculation, but also you need to know that how to do the calculation in the right way and how to seek for the right resources.
Yeah, what you have to do as a good loan originator is you have to look at the whole picture. And another super quick story. I had a very nice elderly couple come to me, and they wanted to, they owned their own home, a rental house, and a rental condominium. And a large bank in the area had rejected them because their debt ratio was too high, because they wanted to refinance the high interest rate on their condo. And I looked at it and I said, your debt ratio is too high. But if you borrow against the rental house, you can take out enough money to pay off the condo. And what they ended up doing is they got a 15-year loan, have a free and clear condo, save $700 a month compared to what they had been paying before, and qualified. So the moral of the story is that people apply for what they think is the loan that they want. But if you look at the whole, a good loan officer will look at the whole picture and will say, if you borrow more, but you pay this off as well, I'm looking at your whole financial picture. I'm not looking at just this one property. And, that's my approach. So even people who are well qualified, who can go online and get approved, may not be doing what's best for them because they're just looking at one part of the picture rather than the whole picture.
Correct. I agree with you. So for those of you who are listening, who are watching, and I just wanted to say that I don't know what's on your mind now, but I definitely want to have coffee with Nicole. And we definitely need to set up a time, because I wanted to get to know more about the loan information, and then the more information about the market. And I believe that you are the person to go. So I love the information, I love the knowledge, and I love your heart, and I love how the way you serve the community. And I'm also optimistic about we're still having people like you, and having a servant heart. So thank you so much, and thank you for giving so much value to the community. And I hope to see you soon.
I hope so too. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful night. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.